There are plenty of tax software out there to help you file your 2019 taxes in 2020. So you've probably heard of FreeTaxUSA. In this video, I'm going to cover exactly what they give you and do a video walkthrough of FreeTaxUSA software. Hey guys, and welcome back to The College Investor, the place for investing and personal finance for millennials. Now, if you are a go-getter and like to tackle your taxes on your own, then you might want to consider Free Tax USA. Now, they do have a partner site called TaxHawk, which is pretty much identical. There are a few discrepancies in the software, but just so you know, they are partner sites and pretty much the same thing. You might also be wondering, is Free Tax USA actually free? And just because the word free is in the company name doesn't mean that it's actually free. So you can file your federal taxes for free, but you will have to pay for the state return, and that is $12.95 per state return. So if you have to file multiple state returns, you'll be paying $12.95 for each state. Okay, so let's take a look at the Deluxe Edition packages, because this is where there's a difference between the free return and then also what you pay extra for. So for $6.99, you can do the deluxe return on top of the $12.95 for the state return. And what you primarily get with the deluxe return is the live chat and priority support. So if you're having trouble accessing things or don't know where to look for certain areas of your tax return, then you may want to take advantage of the $6.99 deal. There's also an audit assist and an audit center, plus unlimited amended returns. So that's what's all in the Deluxe Edition. You can go ahead and start filing your return using the free, and then you can always upgrade from there. So why don't we go ahead and hop into the tax software and I'll show you how it works.
All right, so once you get into Free Tax USA and create your free account, you will be taken to this dashboard just to show you exactly how everything is set up. So you'll see that there will be different sections of your tax return that you can follow along with, which makes this really user-friendly in my opinion. And you can follow along with their self-guided navigation. All right, so you'll want to enter your taxpayer information. For the purposes of this video, I'll keep this to dummy information. So just follow along and fill out all of your information. Then it's going to want to ask you to upgrade to deluxe support if you want the peace of mind of having access to unlimited amended returns, priority support with live chat. You can go ahead and add this, but I think for people who know what they're doing and if they have a good understanding of how to add things without having to look around, I'd say you could go ahead and skip this. Then we continue on to the next section, which is income. So if you are employed full-time, you most likely will have a W-2. So I'll go ahead and click yes. And then what you're going to do is you're going to enter in your information as it appears on your W-2 form. The one thing about Free Tax USA is that you don't have the option to import your W-2. You have to input this information manually. So if you make a mistake, then you're going to have to go back in and redo the whole thing and do an amended return, which is not fun. So just be sure that you have an eye for detail and that you triple, quadruple check your numbers. Now, if you ever get lost throughout this process, Free Tax USA does a good job of adding these little question mark bubbles next to each of the line items, and then you can click on one of those and then it'll give you a breakdown and description of what they're asking for. And I found that the information was really straightforward and very specific. So there was no messing up where to find the employer identification number, for example. I knew exactly where to look because Free Tax USA added a really nice description. And then you're going to start filling in what you see exactly on your W-2 into each box. All right, so you'll come to a menu page for your income, and then you can see exactly where we just filled out the W-2. If you have interest earned from any banks, you'll typically get a 1099. And then you can see I have not started that, which is a nice visual in FreeTaxUSA. You can see all of the different areas that I have not started on. And then you can click to start and then walk through the prompts. So I find this really easy to use and just work through each line item. Okay, for the most part, if you are just filing a simple W-2 and then you have maybe a 1099, that's pretty much it for your income. If you have a freelancing business or consulting biz, then they do have a different section down here for business and rental income. So if you have rental income from a property, you can also add that. And I really like how easy this is broken down into these different sections. Okay, then you're going to move on to deductions and credits. So you're either going to take the standard or the itemized deduction. I think this area beginners may struggle with, whereas somebody who's been familiar with doing their own taxes may just skate through this with a breeze. So I'm doing a straightforward federal return with a W-2. So I'm going to take the standard deduction. And if you take standard deduction, then you can just skip all this and click continue. You'll just continue to go through the prompts for any IRA contributions, any college tuition expenses. Let's say you did have student loan interest that you paid on. So we'll go ahead and click on yes. Let's say we paid $500 in interest, and we've gone through all common deductions and credits, and then you can click continue. Now here's some other areas where you could potentially receive a deduction or a credit. So you want to make sure you can go through any of these if they apply to you. And if they don't, then you can go ahead and just skip this and continue. And then what's really cool is I had a health savings account box in my W-2, and so it's automatically going to pull that information over into the health savings account information, and then I can add that as a deduction. And then again, once you complete each major section, you're going to get a summary so it can help you just verify everything was inputted correctly. Now, a lot of these items under miscellaneous forms and topics may not apply to you, but it's important that you go through each one of them just to make sure you're not missing any forms or missing any potential deductions or credits. And then what's nice about FreeTaxUSA, TaxHawk also adds this. The dashboards are very, very similar and like identical, but the refund maximizer will ask you more questions to help you find more deductions, credits, or refund opportunities that may apply. So you can go through all of these questions. All right, so here is our federal tax summary. We made it. So you can go through each line item, see what the breakdown is. I think the way that they set up this table is really easy to read. And when the IRS opens up acceptance for e-filed returns in mid to late January, you can log back into FreeTaxUSA and click submit. And also keep in mind, when you're ready to file your state return, you can click here and you see that all states should be available by the end of January, and then you can file your state return at the same time as your federal return. You'll have to pay the $12.95 for your state return, but for $13 really to file your taxes on your own, I'd say that's a pretty good deal.
All right, so FreeTaxUSA is most likely best for people who already have experience filing their taxes on their own. This isn't really a tool for straight beginners. Otherwise, you end up clicking around, looking up line items and descriptions, just trying to figure out what everything means, and you're much better off with something that's a little bit more guided and a little bit more hand-holding, much like with TurboTax or H&R Block. With FreeTaxUSA, if you have a simple W-2 and a 1099 INT, then FreeTaxUSA is one that you should consider looking at. It's the best bang for your buck if you have a very simple tax return or you know what you're doing. For more information on tax reviews, be sure to check out all of our tax reviews at thecollegeinvestor.com.